I will be starting momentarily. I heard a noise over in the other part of the house. I'm going to go see if my cat is okay. I don't know what he's doing, but sounds like he knocked some things over. Not sure what's happening. I'll be back, and we'll start in just a moment. All right. Well, I guess it really wasn't that much. So, here we go. Here we go. And here we are. Welcome back to the Pocket Dimension, where we will paint all the things. Thanks for hanging out with me again on this terrific Thursday. Terrific Thursday. Thirsty Thursday? Terrific Thursday? I don't know. Terrific Tuesdays, right? I don't know. Could be any combination thereof, right? Terrific Tuesdays, Thirsty Thursdays. You know, there are some people in life that don't like alliteration. That's okay. Not everybody likes the same things. Hey, Savage, Taco Thursday. Nice. Well, I'm having a Foster's. I don't have a taco with me. I might have some popcorn later. How's it going, Savage Brewski? Good to see you. Thanks for dropping in, saying hello. I know you got a lot going on. So, here is the Cavern troll that I've been working on as the monster of the month for September. There's a little dot of yellow got out of place, but get a little gray there, and clean that up real quick. Hope everything is copacetic in your world. Of course, those of you who know Savage Brewski, if you follow him on here on YouTube, go ahead and give him a subscribe and a like. He's got some good content. And we're thinking of our friend Patty at Patty's Parlor Games, who is going through a little bit of some health adventures right now. Good or bad, it's still an adventure, you know. So, you know, that's just it's a thing. These things happen as you get older. Human frailties. So, but if you're interested in helping out, if you want to help out Patty and his family consider looking into purchasing a copy of Mutants at Giant Slayer Games. That's Mutants with an exclamation point at Giant Slayer Games. They have a cave troll, Richard Sharp, right? They have a cave troll. Oh, the have a cave troll. Oh, the have a cave troll. You gotta get that Northern England kind of chop off the ends of your words kind of thing going. The have a cave troll. Now that's soldiering right there. So check out GiantSlayerGames.com and look for Patty's Parlor Games. Get a copy of Mutants. I believe it's pay what you will, what you want. And give Mrs. Patty's Parlor and the kids a hand. He's going to be out of work for a little while, probably, while he recuperates, and we don't know what's going to happen with the future. I mean, in general, we don't, but he's going to get some things resolved today, hopefully, and get a way forward to deal with his issues. So, and I'm not saying anything that's not been said in public already, so, but if you can, maybe pick up a copy of his work and give them a helping hand. That's Giant Slayer Games. Patty's Parlor Games is the publishing company, and Mutants is the name. I think you'll really enjoy it if you like little small unit skirmish games. I think you'll really enjoy it. If you've got the Dead Zone, mats, that works really good on the Dead Zone mats. So, give it a look. See if you can spare a buck or two just to help out a fellow gamer, game creator, hobbyist. Know things are tough for everybody, but you can go there and pay what you want for the title, and whatever. If it's a buck, if you only feel like it's worth a buck to download and print out for yourself, then a buck it is. $1 is more than no dollars. So give old Patty a helping hand. So. We should hear from Patty in the next day or two. He said possibly out this evening. Yeah, he's going to be out this evening. I mean, after being sliced open like that, and the anesthesia and everything, I would not expect him to be much good for a couple of days. So, I think his games are going to have to wait for a little while. I think he's playing online with Wargamer Girl and a couple other people. I think they're doing an Iron Kingdoms campaign. So, and of course, if you're here on YouTube, then you should know who Wargamer Girl is. She's done a lot of content over the years. Her and her husband are movers and shakers in they've got the Valhalla gaming retreat that they run each year. It's going to be in the springtime in 2025, and then they usually come to Adepticon, and she's got bi-weekly sit and chat and paint sort of show on Wednesday nights. So hop on over to Wargamer Girl and give her and her team a subscription if you don't already here on the YouTube. And I believe she also multi-streams out to Twitch as well. when she does those. So find Wargamer Girl on Twitch, and you'll never have to leave the house. Yeah, I think Jeremy is in on that. So yeah, I think you're right, Savage. So they got to put a little pin in that for a little bit, I guess, while Pat is recuperating. Hopefully he will have a quick recovery and they can get this thing licked. So he's too young for those kinds of things, you know? It's not fair. But hopefully if he's got it soon enough. But let's not get all maudlin and let's just get to modeling. And then in a couple of weeks, I will be running a paint and take at Gaming Glade Getaway, hosted by Lonely Hero Games, who have their games Bank Heist and Hungry for Humans that are really fun board games that if you haven't seen them, you should definitely check them out. Hungry for Humans and Bank Heist. I believe they've won some awards with those games. But they're just nice, simple little games. I say simple. Bank Heist is funny because it doesn't look like much. Just the box is basic black with bright yellow lettering on it. And there's really not a lot of overly fancy graphics work on the box. But it is striking and it looks very simple. It looks like something you'd see in the 60s or 70s as far as the presentation goes. And that's not a bad thing. I'm certainly not saying that as a bad thing. That was a choice. That was a nice graphics design choice, and I think very bold idea there. So if you know the Pat Meister, he will busting down doors with his ale horn yelling, "Scotland forever!" Yeah. Yeah, he will. I'm sure he will. He will definitely be back in full effect there, Brewski. No doubt. So hopefully when things stabilize for you too, hopefully everybody will be able to get back onto the podcast scene there. Maybe you guys can get that started up again. And I know your content creation is coming back online. You post up a couple of things on Instagram. Folks, if you're not following Savage Brewski here on YouTube or on Instagram, you should do that. Brewski, why don't you go ahead and put your links there in the chat? Because I know you, and I know you're not going to put anything untoward in there. So go ahead and share that if you want. Instagram.com, Savage Brewski. Go check him out. He's got some good stuff. Nice little shorts sometimes here on the YouTube, over here on the YouTube side, where he just kind of shows some of his quick little terrain projects. You know, it doesn't have to be elaborate to be good, right? It just has to do the job. Just like my painting style. Not elaborate, but it gets paint on the figure, and a painted figure is better than a not painted figure. So, pretty mediocre, I think. And I don't know if this is one of my better ones, quite honestly. I think I haven't given myself enough time on this one. Hey, Blades, how you doing? Good to see you. How's everything in your world? Like pancakes. All right, that's great. Pancakes are good. Glad to hear everything is copacetic, like pancakes. Pancakes are easy to cook too. You know, not a lot of hassle. Just the mix and the griddle, and away you go. All right. Just try to get the upper portions lightened up a little bit without going too bright. I don't want to step into the white too much. I just want to keep it gray. So, but I want to have nice little bits here and there, and I don't want to go too far away from the darker grays down on the lower extremities. But I don't want to fill it in with a total light gray either, so trying to do a little blending, let the paint do what it wants to do. Like Kenny Boucher says, respect the paint, dog. Respect the paint. So we're going to try to respect the paint and let it do its thing. You know. So I don't want to get too much on here, too much in the wrong space, too bright. Try to keep it darker down here on in the lower legs here. And then maybe try to darken that up just a smidge. I don't want to have quite so much there, maybe. Random thought of randomness. I always actually hadn't had them in a while. Random thought of randomness. Yes. Pancakes. Pancakes are kind of random. I actually try to do pancakes on Sundays. Sundays is pancake day. So I usually get McDonald's big breakfast on a Sunday, because why not, right? It's a good day for a big breakfast like that. Usually I'm doing good just to get a bagel and a cup of coffee. So, all right, I think that's pretty good. I think I've got good paint going on there. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to rinse off here. Rinse this out, and we're going to get some Casandora yellow, which aside from its name, this Casandora yellow is an orange colored shade. So it's not really yellow. It's actually orange. But it will hopefully give us a little bit more of a gradient on these crystals growing out of this guy here. So I don't know if you can see that, but I've got some nice white highlights here right at the points, just the edges, pretty bright. It's kind of cartoony. I got that. I get that. It is cartoony, but I mean, what can I say? It is what it is, and it's going to be what it's going to be. So let's see what this Casandora shade does to us. I'm just going to pick out one crystal in particular and just see if it's see how it does, if it does any good. It might be too strong, I don't know. Let's see what happens here. Okay. All right. Okay. Kind of liking it. Kind of liking it. Yep. We'll see what happens with it. It might just be the bee's knees here, you know. Kind of work on the underside of these crystals a little bit. That's pretty good. Of course, the problem is then it goes over the white and it knocks that white back down, and I don't know that I like that. I'm gonna have to. It's gonna cause a little more work for me. So, but that's okay. This is actually the September monthly monster, so I'm trying to get rid of it here pretty soon. So if you are not subscribed on Twitch yet, feel free to subscribe and support the channel that way. You can use your Amazon Prime account to subscribe for free even. Or you can also use... There's also other ways to support the channel, but being here and following is just fine too. No obligations to subscribe. I was thinking there's also the Twitch Turbo, but I don't think it puts you in a subscriber mode here. But Twitch Turbo is kind of neat because you pay one price and you get to see all your favorite streams without advertisements. So that's good, but it only helps us out for the advertisement revenue, which is pennies. So if you want to be part of the monthly Monster Club, get in the subscription category, be a subscriber, so that I can shower you with appreciation. Because that's why I do the monthly monster. It's for the people that subscribe, because I have to do it as a giveaway because I can't paint a monster for everybody. Just not going to happen. But everybody gets a fair share at it if you're a subscriber. It's kind of my way of getting back and saying thank you to people that decide to throw a couple of dollars my way each month. So. But that Cassandora Yellow is turning out pretty good. I may have to go back and repoint some of these highlights. It kind of knocks it down just a little bit, so I may bring it up with some more yellow, like the moon dust yellow. But it's not bad. It's maybe not really what I wanted, but it was a choice. We're trying it. So, stunned to see the back of Matt Mercer's DM desk, and Jesus, the number of minis he has to hand there. Wow, yeah, no doubt. But watching I haven't watched anything from Matt Mercer and his group for quite a while. Just haven't had time. In fact, what's funny is they do their Thursday night show at the same time I do my Thursday night show, so kinda hard to get to watching that. I don't know, do they do that on YouTube still anymore or no? Or is it still a week's delay? Because their thing was always, is it Thursday yet? Or was it Tuesday yet? Whatever it was. Can't remember now. Oh, that's getting out of hand right there. Let's pull that back. I think they do both, but you can always see them after the premiere date. Yeah. I've just not watched Critical Role for quite a while. I used to really enjoy it, but I just lost track of it, and then when that's the thing, is I lost track of it, and I found it very difficult to pick back up, if that makes any sense. But I just found it difficult to pick. I missed too many episodes, so I really didn't know what was going on, and I really didn't feel like spending a lot of time catching up. I would have liked to start collecting their comic book though, but I honestly, I don't really go to comic book shops that much anymore, because My FLGS doesn't really carry too many new titles. They got some big boxes full of back issues, some long boxes full of back issues, but they don't really carry much in the way of new titles. Seems like comics kind of took sort of a dive around here. Of course, some of the writing is not so good anymore. And that's not. I know a lot of people are making political statements about that, but the writing just isn't good. I mean, politics notwithstanding, the writing just is not great. So this guy looks like this kind of looks like candy corn growing out of him, which I guess, okay, we'll just go with it, right? Trying to let that Cassandora yellow give some gradients there, but it wants to slip down and pool at the bottom. It's hard to get it to stipple. I was happy to watch Vox Machina. Drinks on me. All right, thanks, Savage Brewski. Appreciate it. I needed a sip of the old Foster's. Foster's. It's Australian for beer. No, it isn't. I keep on wanting to ask Dave Taylor about Foster's and finding out if it really is an authentic Australian beer. Because they actually make it here in the States, but I think it was probably a recipe from down there. I mean, that's what usually happens a lot of times, is because it's hard to transport beer and keep it nice and flavorful. So what they will do is they will bring the recipe over and they will brew it here. So I don't know. I guess let's see. Let's look at the label. If you want to know about a beer, read a label. So it says Original Foster's Brewery, 1888 to 1907, Australia's famous bar brand. And this is the green can. This is the Foster's Bitter, which I like a lot better than the blue can. So brewed in the USA. So it is brewed in the USA. So that's what it is. Is they brought the recipe over, and they're so it's founded in Australia, celebrated worldwide, and brewed in the USA. Now that's not an advertisement, although Foster's, if you're watching, call me. Though I also have one more way that if you wanted to support the channel and try a great energy drink that doesn't give you the jitters and is sugar free, check out Dubby, 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 and use my promotion code ROKKIT FUEL, Rocket Fuel. ROKKIT FUEL. You'll get 10% on your order, off your order, and I'll get a little something on the back end. So if you want to help out the channel and you like energy drinks, give W a try. No jitters, just good, clean fun. It has a very clean aftertaste. I like it. I wouldn't I bought some before I took on the sponsorship. I was like, hey, this is pretty good. So I do drink it from time to time. I do use it, and because I wouldn't promote something that I don't like. It's pretty good. I don't drink energy drinks all the time, but ever since I got a stockpile of Dubby, I don't really buy anything else because I just mix up a batch and it's good to go, and it's cheaper than buying cheaper than buying a can at the store of, say, Monster or Red Bull or something. Red Bull's horrible. Ugh. I used to drink that when I had to drive and get up when I had to get up at 4:30 in the morning. and it was summertime. I really wasn't in the mood for coffee. It was just too hot. So I'd grab a Red Bull, and that stuff tasted weird, and it kind of smelled funny. Sort of chemical, if you will. And then I tried Bang, and Bang was pretty good. And I tried Rain. Rain and Bang, they just sound too similar. But give W a try if you're looking for something different. I think you will. I think you'll like it. I like it, so maybe you'll like it. So there's my advertisement for my sponsor W. So that's another way to support the channel, and you get something out of it, even if you don't want to support the channel as a subscriber and possibly get the monthly monster. You can get a decent little pick-me-up. So if you watch me, I think you should also watch so many other great creators here on the on YouTube. For one thing, Build Paint Play with Dave and Jake. So Dave Taylor, industry veteran from many years. Used to be the editor of the United States White Dwarf for quite a while. He's worked with Warlord Games, and he has his own publishing company called Dave Taylor Miniatures, where he has produced several books about miniatures and miniature painters and their process. Really great books. If you get a chance, you should get them. A lot of times you can pick them up at say Adepticon, but go to DaveTaylorMiniatures.com, and I'm sure you'll be able to find locate a retailer near you. He also has the Kickstarters that finished. I'm looking forward to the latest one with the Sam Lenz book. So Sam Lenz, I think Bjarne Dolly. Bjarne Dolly makes amazing conversions. So check out DaveTaylorMiniatures.com and take a look at that. Now, I'm not sponsored by Dave. I talk about things that I like. Some things I am sponsored by, other things I'm not. Other things are just friends that give me cool stuff, and and I paint it like the stuff from Ralpartha. That goes on the website. That's just a volunteer painting expedition, so to speak. Let me put a little bit of brown in this copper. Let's see if I've got a little bit of oak brown or something I can put in here. So dark stone, that's too dark. A little beige, no, too light. Let's throw a little oak brown in that copper, and we'll brown it up just a little bit. Bet you didn't know you could put opaques in with metallics to change up the color a little bit. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't try it. But you'll get a darker color. See, look at there. I'm bringing that metallics in, and I'm getting a darker, deep coppery color right there. So, of course, Vallejo does make a metallic medium that you could mix into your paints and really do a nice job. But I figured, why not give this guy copper teeth, right? You know, he's kind of elemental. He's a cavern troll. He's kind of elemental. Elemental OPQRSTUV. Ha 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 ha. So I thought that might be a funny joke. I guess it wasn't funny. I didn't think it was funny in the middle of telling it, but I did it anyway. A little copper teeth. That's kind of weird, right? It is a definitely departure from the usual white sort of bone colored teeth and the like. But I figure this guy, he might be maybe the crystals are more quartz, so they're yellowish. Quartz crystals sometimes have a yellow tinge to them, and maybe he's from the ground, from the stone around where dwarves mine for gold, and gold and copper are often found in similar in close proximity to each other, as are lead and silver. Anybody that lives out west, Colorado specifically, would be able to verify that you get all sorts of different minerals, right? I mean, that's one thing about out there is that you have all of those minerals, and they all seem to be right in the similar area. So you'll have copper and gold and iron. You get iron pyrite, which generally known as fool's gold, right? But oh, that's the wrong cup. I put the metallics in my opaque cup. That's not good. So I'm just letting it kind of wet blend up. Kind of getting that. The same thing I do with the white from the beige and the ivory to the white is what I'm doing with the teeth. I guess it looks a little weird, but it is a troll. I mean, tell me if you've seen a troll and it doesn't look like this, let me know. I mean, if you've got some actual pictorial evidence, that would be great. But I would defy you to tell me that I can't paint a cavern troll like this. But I was talking about it the other night, and we as humans, we have a lot of minerals in our body. We have iron, and which I guess iron's not really a mineral, it's an element. But we have copper and trace elements of copper and iron. Copper is actually a heavy metal, so it's not good to have too much of that in their body. But we do have a little. We have iron. We see that in our blood because it's red. We have we have calcium. Our bones are made out of calcium. Calcium is actually rock. You can go and you can find calcite. Calcium, calcite. See, it's there you go. We have magnesium and iron and calcium. All of these elements and minerals that make up our bodies. Why can't elements and minerals make up the body of a troll? And a troll would be, trolls seem to be a little bit more, I guess you'd say, tied into their environment as well. So it wouldn't be unexpected perhaps to have a troll that reflects the environment that created him or her or it, as the case may be. So Yeah. That's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to look. Oh, doggone it. I'm putting it back in the wrong, the wrong jar. I don't do so much with metallics until a certain point, sometimes. So then I'll just get a little bit of silver. Pick up a little silver here, which I think I put over here. Did I put these silvers back? Yeah, I put the silvers back. Gunmetal. Gunmetal's too dark. I need a bright silver. There's bronze. Bronze would have been a nice choice as well. Nope. Antique gold. That would have worked. What do we got here? Shining silver. Army Painter Shining Silver. Here we go. So. I'm going to just pick a little bit of Shining Silver. Mix it into that gold there. Antique gold or whatever that color is there. And we'll just bring it up a little bit. Just bring it up just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I got to be careful doing little snippets of music like that with YouTube because the algorithm is always watching. It's always watching, man. It's always watching. So we'll mix that up and get that nice gradient. Pick that up. Bring it up to... We don't want to go to silver at all. We just want to get that kind of bright gold look, like polished copper. I'm an electrician, so I see it every day. I know what color it's supposed to be. So, don't at me, bro. So, just a little bit there. And just a little bit on the tippy tips. Right here. I want them to glint and gleam and glow. And I've got a little bit of that turquoise, that light turquoise underneath there just to kind of give the idea of a little bit of corrosion going on there. So, a little verdigris, if you will. Or if you won't, I don't care. Even if you don't. So we'll get a little bit of that verdigris sticking back out. I don't know. It might not work very good. But we'll just do this. Get a nice little gradient going on that metallic. Just kind of feather that off. Yeah. All right, so now we're going to do the base. There I go, putting the metallic back into the opaque water. I will never learn. Well, I do so much work with the opaques that it's just a reflex action, I think. So, For those of you who are watching, and if you haven't subscribed, you're more than welcome to subscribe. And if you are a subscriber, you will be in the running to win this fine gentleman when I do the drawing for it, either this evening or maybe even next Tuesday. It just depends on how late it gets. So, if you're a subscriber, you get a shot at it. If you are a follower, thank you very much for your follow. You are noted and you are welcome to be here. And if you are a follower, or if you're watching and you haven't followed yet, I want to let you know I have got a copy of Warcrow that when we hit 300 followers here on Twitch, I will be giving away a brand new copy of Warcrow to one of my followers. So when we hit 400 followers, if you haven't hit that little purple button down there that says follow, please do so. I've been hovering right between 327 and 329. It's like I get a follower, couple of followers, somebody falls off. So if you haven't followed, please follow. Get your friends to follow. I've got a copy of Warcrow to give away. So that's two forces to play with you and one of your friends. And the at least I didn't paint the no Savage. I did not paint. I did not dunk the paint in the Fosters. So help me get to 400 followers, and I will be giving away a copy of Warcrow by Corvus Belly. So I was trying to make posts about that all before the street date, but we didn't make the street date. The offer still stands, and it would be nice to have 400 followers before the end of this month. Could happen, might not happen, right? We only need 72 more people. So that would be great. But if we don't make it, we don't make it, and it continues on. That's just the nature of it. But yeah, so funny story about that, Brewski. I made myself a screwdriver one time, and I was sitting and watching TV and painting. I mean, I really wasn't watching TV. I just kind of had it going, and it was the Hornblower series. I had it on DVD. Still have it on. What I mean, had it. I still have it. So I had it going, and it was just there and playing, and I was painting up some orc terrain. So I was using rust color, red and orange, and making it just look all corroded and irony and the like. And well, a screwdriver, as you know, is vodka and orange juice. So it was orange. Well, I had 2 cups. I had one far over to my right and one far over to my left. And as you know what's coming. Because the 2 paint cups, the 2 cups were very similar in shape. They were just throwaway Dixie cups, the clear ones, the clear plastic little cocktail cups. Yeah, I wound up dunking my brush in my screwdriver. Talk about an abuse of alcohol. Oh, it kind of made me mad because I thought that I had set that cup far enough away and in the opposite direction, and I was just not paying attention. I think I looked at the TV and I just saw the orange color out the corner of my eye, and I just reached over and bloop, in goes the brush. Not my best moment. So, but Foster's is in a big can, and it is sitting over. It is not even sitting on my desk here. It is sitting on the side table where my computer is. So it's not even easy to get to. I have to turn my whole body to grab it. So now what I'm thinking about doing to finish off this base. Now, I can't really do any... I don't want to do any vegetation on this base since this is a cavern troll. I assume that he's in a cavern. And he has gold teeth. He might be named Flava Flav. So I'm darkening that up. Might use some brownish gray, something like that, just to bring it back up. Just keep it dark. I want it to look like he's in the dark. I mean, if I really were serious, I would paint paint up an adventurer with a torch and just do OSL and leave the rest of his body black. Back here would be all black, right? And it would just light up the front where the adventurer is seeing his face for the first time. Whoa, I'm a cavern troll. I live in a cavern. Rawr. Please, sir, don't eat me. I'm just a humble adventurer trying to make his way in the world. So, okay. Who wants me to ever, never do that again? I know I don't never want to do that again. So, maybe what I can do is maybe I definitely need to get my lighting set up. I keep on trying to figure out how much time I can devote to things. Time is weird for me. If I didn't have to work all the time, and especially this week, I've got a lot of electrical service calls right now. I mean, like the services, not just service calls where you go and service somebody's needs, electrically speaking. Like their electrical services are having problems because of the storms. So, I quoted a guy today. I quoted to him, and then I wound up going overtime on my quote. So he's not going to be too happy about that, I'm afraid. I told him it was a little bit longer than I expected, but there were things I needed to consult with him about, so that kind of slowed me up. But I'll try to see what I can do to keep his costs down. It's difficult sometimes because you just never know exactly what you're going to run into. You think you got it all squared away and figured out, and you know what you need to have on hand to provide the best service to the customer, but then you wind up finding something else, another concern. It's like, oh, they never attached the ground cable to your, they never attached the ground wire to your service, so you have a floating neutral here. I'm glad you never needed to. I'm glad nothing ever got shorted out to ground, because it would never have shorted. It would never have tripped anything. I'll tell you what, the way some people do their work, they get around. Somehow they get around. They figured out how to not to have an inspection, and it might have even been something done before smart meters. And that's the thing. I think it was definitely done before the smart meters were quite so prevalent. Smart meters actually have done a lot to kind of help mitigate and get rid of a lot of shenanigans and tomfoolery. So I'm using a little bit of beige brown, a little bit of basalt gray, and some white, and I'm going to mix up a nice color to put right here on the base. And I'll pick up a little bit of black here as need be, I guess. And we'll have a little bit of the metallic in it, probably from the paint, the water cup. So, oh good, I'm getting beige. I'm getting khaki. That's not what I wanted. I wanted something different. I wanted something more interesting than khaki. Let's knock it back to a little bit more blue gray with the basalt gray here. So another block there. And then we'll just kind of stipple the base here. And I'm trying to do this without handling the figure very much, because handling the figure can tend to wear paint off. Okay, that's good. I think that's good. That's good. So I'm just going to stipple it. I know the contrast on the camera is really showing, but it's just as bad out here in the real world. So forgive me, as I don't have my lighting rig set up yet. I just haven't had time. Or sometimes when I have the time, I don't have the energy. That's the other problem. Last weekend, I slept so much. Oh, it wasn't even funny. I slept so much last weekend. I felt like it was a waste, and it is sort of a waste of time because you don't get anything accomplished. But at the same time, time resting, if you need rest, it's not really a waste, is it? So, so trying to add a little bit of brown to that gray will help delineate the figure from the base, so it'll help it stand out a little bit more. Or at least that's what I'm telling myself. That's what we're going to go with. So don't be afraid to experiment with your paints. It's only paint. You can't go wrong. And as long as you keep it mostly thin, you can paint right over it. It's not going to be a big deal. So. Well, if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to, don't forget to give a like out there. That would help the algorithm push it a little bit more, and you can have more people there that will pick up and see it in chat. So that you don't have to sit and watch YouTube alone out there, whoever is watching on YouTube. So the chat is open. If you want to hop in there, you're more than welcome to. If you're there, or if you're just letting it go and listening, that's fine too. No problems. There are many ways to enjoy my streams, and I'm just glad you're here. So between Twitch and YouTube, and liking, sharing, subscribing there on YouTube, or if you are new and you haven't dropped a follow yet on Twitch, by all means, please do so. Trying to get to 400. When I do reach 400 on Twitch, I will be giving away a copy of Warcrow. And if you like what I do and you want in on the monthly monster drawing, because this fella is going to be given away to one of my subscribers here on Twitch. If you subscribe on Twitch, you will be entered into that drawing. So don't forget, if you are normally subscribed on Twitch and your subscription has lapsed, or you've used the free subscription from Amazon Prime, by all means, re-up so you get a chance. You can win multiple monsters, but you can't win twice in a row. So if you win one month, you have to sit out the drawing, but don't let that stop you from maintaining your subscription. Everybody can use a monster. Now, whether you're using it for a war game, like Warhammer Fantasy Battles, or one-page rules, or something like that, that's one thing. You can do that, or Middle-earth strategy battle games. You know, that's another thing you could use it for. Nobody says you have to use Workshop's miniatures to enjoy your hobby. Remember, folks, this is your hobby. Workshop can't tell you how to do it. You know how best to engage with your hobby the way you want to engage with your hobby. Don't let somebody else dictate you the terms of your entertainment. You could use a figure like this in a science fiction game. So, a little Flash Gordon, maybe a little little Flash Gordon, maybe some John Carter of Mars, something Edgar Rice Burroughsy, something like that. There's all sorts of ways you can use your figures. Just because it has a particular brand on the packaging, that doesn't mean that you have to use it solely for that game or that it is intended for use with that game. The game books, the rule books don't know the difference. You can take control of your hobby. You can take control of your games. You take control of your entertainment. So just a little stippling here and there. That's something that when I was a kid in the 80s and 90s, that's something that we did. I was introduced to some of these games at school, and through schoolmates that I was acquainted with, and the thing about it back then is sometimes you didn't have access to all the miniatures that they said you should have access to. So you get a chunk of 2x4, and that's a unit, and or you get you get a couple of you raid the you raid all the chess boards in the classroom, and you use the knights for your cavalry. You got a couple of 172nd knights and bowmen, and then the other guy has just gone ahead and just grabbed all the knight pieces out of the chess sets, and you know you make do with what you have to play the games or what you understand the games to be like. And you may not even understand the games. You may be missing some important pieces of the information of the rules too, depending on where you get the rules from. So people are sick of minis. Agnostics are becoming the thing. They really are. And I'll tell you, the person that was really the driving force behind it, they've always been a thing, really, but Adam Loper, Uncle Adam, Tabletop Minions, he really brought that to the fore because he has such a platform, and he's a cool guy. And people said, "Oh yeah, this guy is making a good point. So miniatures agnostic games, let's try that." And so it's just kind of been a thing, and it's allowed him and Vince to make a few bucks with their rule set and the rule sets and the like. So, all right, I am going to take that in OPR. Yeah, 1-page rules exactly. I'm going to take a quick little bio break, and I'll be back in just a minute. And we are back. Thanks for hanging out and waiting for me while I took care of a very weighty matter. Thank you. Hey, Slick Spin. Hey. Cheap viewers on Avengers.uno. I don't know what that is. Slick Spendthrift, I believe you are a bot. So I'm going to get rid of Slick Spendthrift, who is a first-time chatter, but they're obviously a bot. So I'm gonna block that user and send a report about the bot. Account created October 2nd. So I'm not going to give them a warning. Got to get rid of that. Come on now. Come on, computer. Be faster. Report and block. Yeah, I don't really much care for bots. So I'm going to get rid of the bot. Bot. Oh, come on, computer. And block. Report and block the bots. So, bots not welcome. No, thank you. Thank you, no. No, thank you. All right. Okay. Yep. Okay, very good. All right. Okay. Bot is sent to Bot Hades there. All right. So now comes to pass. We need to do the eyes on this fella. Also, I think I'd like to do some vegetation on his base. You know, I always like to do vegetation on bases. The problem is this is a rock, and it is also inside a cave, so grass would not really be... Well, I would say that grass wouldn't be appropriate, but it could, if you were right at the opening of a cave, maybe a little bit of dead grass might be appropriate. But I think I might like to try my hand at some green stuff. Mushrooms. Let's do a mushroom here. Let's which I wonder how a YouTube bot is gonna, or YouTube algorithm is gonna look at that. He said he was going to do a mushroom. Not that kind of mushroom. Let's just see if I can. Let's see if I can sculpt a mushroom here. So we got enough time. We got lots of time. We're going till 11 o'clock tonight, like usual. I was thinking about cutting it a little short since I do have an early morning appointment, but we'll go and we'll see how we're feeling here another hour or so. So I'm just going to mix up a little bit of green stuff. So it's just blue and yellow, and when it's mixed up correctly, it's green. So it's a 2-part epoxy putty, and that is by, I don't remember who I got this from, but that's quite a bit right there. That's like 3 feet. Much cheaper than what Workshop would sell it to you. I got it at the hobby store. I got it at Hobbytown. I think it was like $20 for 3 feet, which you get about 6 inches for $10 off Workshop. Even if they sell it anymore, I don't know if they even sell. I don't even know if Games Workshop still sells green stuff anymore. But we'll make the little stems for these. We'll make some stems, and then we'll do some little caps. So we'll just roll out a little sausage. Roll out a little sausage here. Set this gentleman aside. He's a dignified sort. He won't mind. Set aside that. Clear off the crumbs. So again, I really do need. I need to do some maintenance around the pocket dimension here. But I'll tell you what, being a working man, living by yourself, you do tend to have a lot of demands on your time. And paint and take season, the cold weather convention season, the off season convention season is upon us, is upon me. So there's a lot of things I'm going to be doing. So I got a lot going on. A lot going on. A lot of things coming up. I'm just a busy guy, you know? Well, just a busy guy. Just a busy guy. Just a busy guy. I'm just a busy guy. Just a busy guy. It's a little stiff right in the middle, so we're going to try to pull it out away from the middle. Actually, that's not too bad, huh? That's a little stiff right there. So, get this part that kind of set up. Get that out of there. Get out of here! Get out! Get out! So we'll mix this up. And we'll make some thicker mushroom stems here with this green stuff. And we'll just do a little bit. So you want to mix it until all the striations are gone. So the blue and the yellow become green. You don't want any of the little stripes in there. So but I'm going to make some thicker sort of stems for some more mushrooms. I'm going to do probably I like to work in, I call it the rule of 3 whenever I do basing. So I like to have 3 items on the base. I like to do it in levels of 3. And if you go and look at my Instagram, you'll see what I mean when you look at some of my base work. So the rule of 3 when I do my bases. That's kind of what I go for. So 3 elements, 3 tufts, or a tuft on top of some flocking, on top of some rock. So rule of 3, layer of 3. Don't be afraid to layer things up. When I do orc buildings, I like to do the armor paneling in levels of 3, and just gives it a lot of dimensionality, I think. It sounds really weird, I guess, to call it the rule of 3, but there you have it, the rule of 3. And we'll get to that here, either in YouTube videos that I'll be making. I want to make. I got to get around to getting those. I just don't have that. I've been trying to see clear to work only 4 days a week, doing 10-hour days, but yeah, that's hard to come by when you're doing service calls. So there's a thin one and there's a thick one. I think that will be probably plenty. So I'm going to set that aside and let that cure up. So I'm just going to set that over here. And I'll set this other one over here right next to it. And then I'm going to grab another little bit of green stuff. Although it's not green when you get it, it becomes green. Another little bit of green stuff. We'll just pull a little bit of that green stuff right off, and we'll make some balls of it, and the balls we'll let the balls dry and cure up, and then slice off some pieces from those balls and make our mushroom caps. So roughly equal parts. It doesn't have to be exactly equal parts, but see how much I've got left? You could never get that much for $20 from Games Workshop. That's like a 3-foot ribbon. It's actually the trade name is actually called Twtich. So you have your you have milliput, and then you have Twtich. Kneadatite. Twtich. Knead, like what the cat does on your belly at 6:30 in the morning. Also known as making biscuits. We'll just mix that up really good and make some balls. Of course, this stuff takes quite a while to cure up. I think I've got some stuff. Oh, I do have stuff. Now, if you want to have a, if you want to use an epoxy putty that cures up faster, look up JB Weld Instant Plastic. I've actually got some here somewhere. But JB Weld Instant Plastic, you can get it at Walmart in the automotive section. And you just mix that up. It sets up in 20 minutes. It's great for bulking things out. Like there's some trees that I made, and I just made a wire armature, and then I just bulked out the trees with that liquid plastic. And yeah, that's the stuff right there. It will get you where you need it to be. And it's the same, it's very much similar stuff. It's got a hardener, it's epoxy, resin, amine and epoxy. And yeah, so now that's a little on the blue side. So it'll be a little softer probably. But you're looking for a uniform color through and through, mostly green. So I'm going to go ahead and roll that into a ball. And then when that cures up, I'll slice off little pieces to make the tops of those mushrooms. But it takes a while for this stuff to cure. I don't think it will be cured up tonight. May have to do a little work on this weekend with it. So I hope everybody's having a good week. After last week, this week's been pretty good. Pretty busy, steady. Service calls from the storm. That today and tomorrow is something I'll be working on. I think I mentioned it Tuesday. There was a gentleman's house almost caught fire because of electrical issue. So we got that repaired and replaced. Ran some new wire. Put in a new GFCI. I mean, it was all basically because of a loose connection. And I don't know if it was a loose connection out of the from a plug-in, or if it was a loose connection on the back of the outlet where the wires had been connected. But it was a loose connection, so a lot of heat buildup, and finally it just gave up and caught fire, overheated, which is a little surprising that it didn't trip the breaker. And he has a newer breaker panel. It really should have, but it was an arc fault. So the new ones are all arc fault protection. Anytime you put a new panel in, it's going to be arc fault protection. So, all right. So that's good. Those are good. I'm just going to leave those as they are. And not get too excited about it. I think I will finish priming up this wizard, though. This is from Monster Fight Club, and I think it's part of their Witcher range, but I'm not sure. I thought he was pretty neat looking, so I'm going to prime him up and just use up some time here. I mean, I'm just waiting on those mushroom stems to dry. And that Cassandora yellow looks really good. I may go back and highlight the highlights again. But yeah, the crystals actually turned out pretty nicely after that Cassandora yellow wash, which took it back down a little bit. But it made a nice gradient, I have to say. All right, so let's get some brush on primer, and we'll brush on primer this dude here. Oh, let's see what we've got here. Do I have brush on primer black? I do have brush on primer black. I also have brush on primer olive drab. That's cool. I've got all sorts of brush on primers here. Some from Mission Models, which actually has its own thinner. You can't just use water, supposedly. I've got UK Bronze Green. I've got gray. Now, gray on gray is hard to tell, right? Israeli Sand Gray. Oh, let's just go with good old classic black primer. Just brush on good old classic black acrylic polyurethane surface primer by Vallejo. Black primer. And you can airbrush this stuff on as well. But I'm just gonna hairbrush instead of airbrush because I am cheap and I don't have things set up in a way to actually do anything with airbrushes. I never had much success with airbrushes, I have to say. So, unfortunately, I tried it in high school, but it didn't really work out very well. So, and the compressor vibrated itself right off the countertop and onto the floor. So, after that broke, we didn't get to use that. Didn't get to use that anymore. All right, let's get a brush. Just a good old cheapo brush. And we'll pick up that water that I inadvertently put metallic paints in and leaving glitter behind. That's okay. Nobody will know. Nobody will know. Nobody out there is going to say anything, right? Your secret is safe with me. So I was thinking this guy might be pretty cool as a character in Death Wizards. That'd be pretty nifty. Death Wizards is available at snarlingbadger.com or DriveThruRPG or War Games Vault. Sorry, they're owned by the same people. One bookshelf, whatever they are. But if you want to try something different, so this guy could even be a mutant. Maybe he's a mutant. You never know. He could be a mutant. Maybe he's not a wizard. Maybe he's a mutant. So I could actually use this fellow in my friend Patty Parlor's games. Patty's Parlor Games. Mutants! Exclamation point. He's throwing a fireball, so maybe he is a mutant. So check out Mutants at Giant Slayer Games by Patty's Parlor Games and help support a really great guy who is going through a challenging time right now. So some health issues have popped up that he's got to take care of. So he could probably use a couple of dollars of support. And Mutants is available as a pay what you want download. And I've read it, and I really have to say I really enjoyed it for a nice little fun game that you can play with your friends. Not terribly involved, and it allows you to flex your creative muscles by making up miniatures and using any miniatures you want to use with it. So, like I said, this guy doesn't necessarily have to be a wizard. He could be a mutant. Maybe he's just an old guy that likes his bathrobe. But maybe he's a mutant that has pyrokinetic powers, like pyro or something. Or maybe he just generates green flame. He generates green flame. Okay, nobody's paying attention. But definitely check out at Giant Slayer Games there, Patty's Parlor. Pick up a copy of Mutants. Help out a good guy and his family. Got some great little kids. Wonderful wife. who's also a gamer. So, by BTW, as the kids say these days. So this is just kind of a one-off figure, you know. But I believe it is part of the upcoming Witcher range from actually it's already exists. It's just they're not really, I don't know what they're doing with it exists. The range of figures exists. The game I don't know anything about, if they have a game that goes with it. But that's Monster Fight Club has that. So, but Monster Fight Club also has their Cyberpunk game, which is really cool. I have a copy of it right here behind me. And it also uses the COcast figures, which, quite honestly, COcast doesn't necessarily need to be primed. COcast and the Bones figures from Reaper, that PVC, they really, really like paint. So you don't really even necessarily have to prime them. But your first coat doesn't have to be super thin. So we'll just prime this dude up as we will, as you do. And we'll just do that and set him aside. Now, they say on the directions for the Vallejo polyurethane primer to give it 24 hours to cure. I've heard other people say that that's not really that important, but I like to err on the side of caution, we'll say. So we'll just let that dry up and cure up, and we'll just get some priming done tonight. And we'll set him aside and let him prime up, let his prime job cure. What to do next? What to do? I've got all sorts of things to do here. Just didn't have a plan. I did not have a plan. So all right. 9 o'clock. I could work on that. I don't feel like working on that though. When you're doing your hobbies, don't do things you don't feel like doing. If you're not feeling a particular project, go ahead and set it aside. It'll be there tomorrow. No big deal. Yeah. So I'm pretty much caught up with the monthly monster. I gotta finish off his eyes. Gotta finish off his base. And we'll have the drawing for that next Tuesday. Alright? So next Tuesday, tune in. Make sure you get to be a subscriber by next Tuesday if you want a shot at the monthly monster. I am going to see what else I've got around here. If I want to prime anything, or if I want to just end early tonight and do something else. I mean, this is my channel. I can do whatever I want. But I also know that a lot of people make time out of their week to watch. I'm part of their life. So I need to find something to do to maintain, to still be entertaining. So let me see what I've got here. I would like to actually paint up some terrain bits. So I'm going to step away from here for just a moment. I'm going to grab some terrain bits and we're going to paint up some terrain bits. So if that sounds okay for everybody, that I'm going to be painting up some terrain bits, stick around. I'm going to step away for just a moment and I'll be right back. I'm going to grab some stuff. And yeah, so we're going to be working on some terrain. We got the monthly monster. If you're wondering, if you just stepped in to take a look, the monthly monster is pretty well done. This is the September guy. And I will be drawing for him next Tuesday. If you are a subscriber, you will be in that drawing. So it gives everybody a chance to subscribe if you're not subscribing yet. So give me just a moment, and I am going to step away and be right back. Alright, I am back. So here we go. Back on the attack. I'm gonna paint some pillars. We're gonna paint some pillars with pumpkin. Paint some pillars with pumpkin. So here we go. And these are from the Wizkids deep cuts. So since we're working in grays already tonight, I've got those colors out. I think we're gonna go ahead and just go ahead and do up some pillars. Pillars of the community. So I know my title screen was up, and usually that means that I'm done with the stream, but I'm not done with the stream. So if you left, you are missing out. So here I am picking out the pillars. What was the song? Picking pawpaws, put them in your pocket. So picking out pillars here. So I got a dozen. I got three of these. So pillars. 1, 2, 3, 4 pillars. 5, 12 pillars. So these pillars of the community. Pumpkin, what's up, buddy? What kind of mischief are you going to be pulling in here tonight, huh? Are you going to hop up and knock things off behind me? You going to hop up on my lap? You're going to inspect the dowel that I used to break into the truck the other day when I had to leave it in the floodwaters? So there's a little bit of a parting line here. So I think we'll go ahead and just sand that off. Because that is a pretty noticeable parting line. The Nolzers stuff, I don't really worry too much about parting lines. They're just cheap. Cheap. So mostly just to get them on the table. But that is just a little, that parting line is just a little much. So we'll just clean her up. And if that doesn't get it, we'll just and that little booger right there. There's a wee little booger right there. Just knock that off. What's up, Pumpkin? What's up, buddy boy? Huh? I'm gone all the day at work, and then I come home and I sequester myself in the pocket dimension, and you're not even allowed in. Is that what you're upset about? Well, you're in here now. You barged in when I came in with the fistful of pillars here. So, keep an eye on you. I got my eye on you. Yes, I do, sir. What are you doing back there? Okay. You can go down the aisleway. You can hang out between the shelves, but do not get up on the desk. Which to a cat means, oh yeah, I'm going to get up on the desk. Alright. So we'll just get a little bit of this basalt gray out. A little basalt gray, and actually let's start out with the necromancer cloak. That's a little bit darker dark gray. Yeah. And we'll just give it a good base coat with that brownish sort of a gray. And maybe put a touch of black in it. Just a touch. A touch of black into the touch of gray. Hey, was that a Grateful Dead reference? Well, yes, it was a Grateful Dead reference. Wah, it sure was. It sure was a Grateful Dead reference. Wah, I'll tell you what. There's a bit there. And a little water on the old brush. Never want to pick up paint with a dry brush, even if you're going to do dry brushing. And we'll pick up that Necromancer cloak with a little bit of black mixed in. And here we go. And we're just going to, this is just terrain. It's okay. 2 thin coats is fine. Mildly thick coat. This is already primed anyway. That's the nice thing about the Nolzers, the Wizkids figures, is they already have primer on them, so your paint sticks pretty well, and you can work in thinner coats than the Reaper bones. That is one advantage that they have. And for $6, which is about the same price as a single figure from Reaper, you can get 2 figures from Wizkids. So there are advantages. The Wizkids figures are almost exclusively sculpted by computer, and they've been doing a lot more computer sculpting with Reaper as well. But the Reaper figures, here's the one thing about Reaper, is they do showcase their sculptors. So whenever you get a Reaper figure, you can look on the package and it will say who it is sculpted by. So you may wind up finding that you like certain sculpts by certain artists. And so you might actually start collecting that person's work exclusively. I know some people do. It's kind of like in the old days with Ral Partha. Ral Partha started showcasing their artists. So you'd have hello Pumpkin, hello Buddy Boy. I knew you were going to come up here. Hey, we're not going to get paint on your black paint on your white paws, okay? So you can hang out, but just don't be obstreperous, okay? Oh, where are you going to go? Where are you going, Buddy Boy? Nope, that's a negative. That's a negative. It's hard to hold on to the cat and paint at the same time. So as I understand it, Dragonfall is this weekend. But no, what I was getting at is, before I go off on another tangent here, because I do that. That's what I do. I go off on tangents from time to time. Reaper, Ral Partha would have the name of the artist on the backing card for the blister for whoever sculpted that figure. So it really took, by them doing that, it took miniatures from just a toy or just a level of a toy soldier to really being little pieces of artwork that you could collect and you could actually have. So one of my favorites was Dennis Mize, and whenever I saw his name on a backing card, at first I just thought, oh, haha, Demise. I just thought it was like just a name that was made up by somebody. Demise. So like demise, but demise. If you've got line of figures that is talking about adventure, and part of adventuring is possible death. So you're making monsters. So you sign your name off as Demise. Well, Demise was Dennis Mize, who has unfortunately met his demise at an untimely end. He was far too young to die, really. But Dennis Mize was a fella that painted that. Sorry, he might have painted some, but was a sculptor from back in the day. And then there's Bob Charette, who's still around. He did a lot of work on the. He did a lot of work on monsters and the fantasy stuff for Ral Partha, but he also did a lot of those classic BattleTech pieces. So Bob Charette did a lot of BattleTech pieces. He also had his own line, has had a couple of his own lines. He's got the Bushido line of figures available. He's got the Bushido line. He's got the Perum Station, which is Victorian science fiction. So if you like Captain Nemo and Space 1889, you could probably find anything that you needed there in the Perum Station line of figures. If you want to take your Victorian adventures to Mars and Venus, you could outfit everything you needed from Ral Partha Legacy. RalParthaLegacy.com. I don't get any kind of compensation from them. I do work with them from time to time. So that's pretty cool. I mean, if you told 14-year-old me, who was just getting into painting miniatures, and noticed that Ral Partha address was in Cincinnati, which was not that far away from where I lived, that I would actually be working with the owners of Ral Partha to bring cool things to pass, to make cool things and have my figures on their website, my painted stuff. And a couple of things actually made it to the box art even. I would have looked at you like you had a frog growing on your head. Seriously, it's just been an absolute thrill to be able to work with RPL and make some cool things. Same with Sea Dog Game Studios. My friends over at Sea Dog Game Studios who make Sail Power and Tech Commander, and you've probably seen me paint some of their stuff here on my channel. And I've got one of our new ship models from this year sitting here in a box, wanting to be painted, and I probably could be painting it right now tonight, but it's my hobby. I can do what I want to do. So as I understand it, Dragonfall is this weekend up in what is that? Wisconsin, Michigan? I don't know. I guess it's Wisconsin. So I hear that's a pretty goodly sized regional convention for the folks up there. Probably the last one before the I'm all out of frame here. Probably the last one before the weather turns bad up there. But there's a lot of Twitch users that are going to be there. Of course, I believe Monster Den Minis is going to be at Dragonfall, and Adam Loper, Tabletop Minions, is going to be there, and Bennett from Holy Fire Them, he's going to be over. They're going to be over there. Sorry, Bennett. I know you like the they them pronouns. That one slipped by me. Sorry. They're going to be there. Falling Freely is going to be there. So yeah, a lot of content creators are gonna be there from the Twitch. So by all means, if you're in the area and you want to get into some hobby goodness over the weekend with some of your favorite Twitch streamers, I hope I'm one of your favorite Twitch streamers, or online content creators, YouTube and the like, YouTube or Twitch, hobby streamers, by all means, hop over there and check out Dragonfall. But we're just going to do some undercoating here tonight with these pillars of the community. And the cool thing about these pillars is they seem rather scale agnostic, quite honestly. So these could actually be used for 10 millimeter games. They could probably be used for 6 millimeter games, 15 millimeter games. I mean, can you imagine doing a Ballin's Tomb in 15 millimeters, or a run like an Escape from Moria scenario with 15 millimeter figures, and these are the pillars. So you wouldn't have to have big, foot tall pillars on your table. You could just set these down and play your 15 millimeter guys all around them. And yeah, because they're about like almost 2 inches tall, inch and 3/4 probably. So I think these architectural elements are pretty neat. That they even sell them is kind of weird, but they could come in very handy, in my opinion. So I'm going to do this over here when I'm not on over my palette, getting plastic dust into the paint here. Though it would probably it would probably improve my painting quite a bit. Let's put a little more paint out on the old palette here. Anyhow, here we are, painting away. I may just go till 10 o'clock tonight. Usually this stream lasts until 11 o'clock on Thursday nights from 7 to 11. But I do have some things I need to get done this evening. I've got some, I got to be back here tomorrow. I got another survey for my solar guy, solar power people. I don't know what they're looking for. I don't understand it. The problem is they want to go through my attic. My attic is a finished attic. You don't get to go through my drywall. Not gonna happen. You're gonna have to run 2 or 2.5 inch pipe outside, and use LBs like a real electrician. The problem is, I think the company that's doing it was started by a roofing contractor. And in my opinion, roofing contractors don't know diddly about putting in solar panels. They might have gone to their classes, but they hire roofing people. I'm not really looking forward to that. Part of me wants to just shut it down and say, nope, not going to happen. Find an electrical contractor to use. But, I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. We'll see. Maybe I'll get some answers. I don't know. Alright, and again, I'm going to knock down some of these parting lines here. So I could probably paint these up in sandstone as well. They would look fine in tans, reds and tans, russet colors, russet and rust. But I'm going to go with just basic gray. Why do we paint things? Why do wargamers, or gamers in particular? Well, yeah. You could say that RPGs are war games as well because you're dealing with a unit statistics for a unit of 1. You could actually take those statistics and apply them to a full unit, depending on the way your mechanics work. So you could actually take those and say, well, dexterity, that's the strength of all the guys, or is the strength is equal to all the guys in that unit working together. Constitution, well, that's how many guys. Uh, that's the resistance to sickness of the unit. Maybe they've got a good doctor, they'll get a +2 or whatever. Maybe they have a higher. You could literally take the stats from your favorite role playing game, apply them to a unit, and play a combat war game with them, with those stats. You could literally do that. Which is not surprising for the pedigree that most people's favorite role playing game happens to have. So keep that in mind. That's a thought, right? All right. Well, that is a third of my dozen pillars. So I'm cleaning up the parting lines, the mold lines, away from my palette just because I don't want to get gunk into the paint. So forgive me when I'm not doing that on stream, like, or visible. I'm doing it on stream, it's just not visible. I'm just backing off and doing what I need to do. So do forgive me for that, but also there's a good reason for not doing it right over where I'm painting. Alright, let's see. I need to get some of these sanding sticks out because I think this sanding stick is just about had it. Let's see what we got here. Okay, that's a pretty stiff one. That's a good stiff one, and yeah, the grit's not bad. Sanding is actually pretty good for these PVC figures. So if you get PVC figures and you want to get the parting lines off of them, use a sanding stick rather than a knife. The back of the hobby knife, the way we used to scrape down the hard plastics, it's considerably different than the work you might do on, say, a workshop figure, like Games Workshop figures with the hard plastic, or a scale model. You know, scale models are hard plastic. Speaking of scale models, interesting segue here. Um, there is a scale model show up in Zanesville, Ohio this weekend. And I would dearly love to go on Saturday and enter some of my figures into their contests. But I've got so many things I got to do around here personally. I just cannot be away as much as I might like to be. So, all right, so we got the parting lines off. And so I'm not scraping, I'm actually kind of slicing away here where I've got some of those parting lines are still visible. So I'm actually slicing those off as opposed to trying to scrape them away. It's the nature of PVC, because even though these Nulzers figures, these Wizkids deep cut figures, are PVC with a primer on them, which they're using the Vallejo primer. They're actually using this stuff on these figures anyway, these pieces. So that's pretty cool, sort of. So but it does allow the primer on here does allow you to go a little thinner with your first and second coats, so you can work your coats up in thin coats, right? As opposed to, say, your Bones miniatures, where a thicker first coat is. And when I say thicker, I just mean you're not really diluting it down out of the bottle. So I'm going to mix in some of this polyurethane and see where that takes us, because it is water soluble as well. And it is the primer as well, but let's just see what happens. So it's obviously darker, because it's black, and we're going on to gray. So I'll probably just leave it as it is. Maybe not do too much with that. If you're watching on YouTube, why don't you hit like for me? Go wrestle the thumb and give that like a workout. Thumb wrestle the like button. That would be pretty awesome. That would help promote the channel. Trying to get to 50 followers on YouTube, because with 50 followers on YouTube, I get to remote stream. So I could use my mobile. I could mobile stream when we have 50 on YouTube. And I found that out, much to my chagrin, a couple of weeks ago when I was up at Ralpartha Legacy. I wanted to live stream being there and just do kind of a sit and chat sort of a thing. And I couldn't do it because I didn't have 50 followers yet. So if you're watching on YouTube and you haven't followed, you haven't subscribed on YouTube yet, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. And while you're at it, make sure you click the bell button, the bell icon, so you get notifications. Because if you don't hit the right bell, you won't get the right notifications. So, why don't you do that for me? And while you're hitting that bell, why don't you just go just a little bit over to the left and wrestle that thumb for me and leave a like. That'd be pretty amazing. It would be pretty amazing if everybody was watching. So. So getting the parting line off, using a little bit of the sanding sticks. Just basic sanding sticks. I think this one has a little bit of an aluminum core to it. So you can get those. You can get them in packages where they actually say the grit on them, or you can just pick them up at the register, just random. This is just one of the random ones that are at the register right there at the Hobby Town that I go to. Hobbytown, USA in South Point, Ohio. Nice to know you. So. Alright, so I think that parting line is off pretty good. Whatever might be left is not enough to be noticed, really. So we'll just go ahead and, yeah, keep on painting them up. Painting up the pillar. Paint the pillar. Paint the pillar with pumpkin. Speaking of pumpkin, where is he? I left the door open because he came in here. I think he got bored. He was poking around back behind me down the aisleway between my storage shelves there, and I think he's just decided he wasn't getting into. He wasn't the center of attention this time, which he becomes the center of attention when he hops up on the desk. That's for sure. So. He probably said, well, I'm just going to go out here, and he's probably sleeping on the back of the couch right now. But he was in here. He was being a good boy, too. Pumpkin is often not a good boy, a perfect gentleman, as Cooper would be from Blades 81's channel. Cooper is a perfect gentleman. Pumpkin, however, is a cat. And cats are not gentlemen, generally speaking. Cats do what cats do, what cats do. All right, let's get a little more gray. Let's see. This is basalt gray. I like basalt gray, but man, I use it in everything. So I'll probably need to get some more here before it's too long. But I really love the bluish edge that it has, the bluish color that it has. And here's some Necromancer Cloak, which is a little bit more brownish gray. And I'm just letting these grays play together on the palette. I'm not I'm not really mixing them together too much, but the Necromancer cloak has a little bit more of a brown to it, and then here's medium sea gray. Medium sea gray, I don't think I will really mix in there. That's a nice highlight. So medium sea gray from Vallejo Model Color and sky gray. Those are going to be some nice little highlight colors. So I don't think I'll use those yet. Hello, Pumpkin. How you doing, buddy? Were you taking a nap underneath the shelves back there? Huh? Is that what you were doing? All right. You can stay in here as long as you don't hop up on the desk here, pal. He says, hop up on the desk. Don't mind if I do. You are being good tonight, which is a change. Did you watch Dr. Phil or something and decide you'd be a good boy now? Because that's what he used to do. I don't know what Dr. Phil is doing these days. I mean, the way things are, the way everybody gets politically balkanized, I really hate it. I mean, oh, you watch Dr. Phil, you must be some blah, blah, blah. Well, no, not really. I remember the old Dr. Phil show, so I don't know what that was all. I mean, I don't know what things are going on these days. But but it was always about kids that were acting out and misbehaving, you know. So I don't know if he does that kind of thing anymore anyway, or if he's just getting caught up with all the silly controversies of the day, you know. But that's just kind of. I don't know who's doing life coaching shows these days for you know people. I don't know. You know, oh, you're acting out and doing crazy things, doing things, bringing a lot of vexation to your parents. You know, let's get to the bottom of it. Cause what was it? What was that lady's name? She used to be on. I don't want to say Sally Jesse Raphael. Who was the other? Who was the other lady? She actually used to be on the Carol Burnett show. Can't remember. Jenny. I want to say Jenny Craig, but that's not right. Jenny Craig's like a weight loss program. Um, I don't remember, but she had a daytime talk show, and she would have like boot camp DIs come in and do like a scared take kids off to a scared straight program. I mean, it's all performative, really. It's all look at me, watch this. Do you have kids that are acting out and being stupid? Well, bring them on Jenny Jones or Jenny Craig or whatever the show was named. You know. So. But that's the funny thing. So Pumpkin, you're being so good. You're being so good, just laying down here on just behind my chair. All you want to do is hang out with me, huh? Have you learned the rules? Have you learned the rules of the pocket dimension? Have you learned the rules of the pocket dimension? Finally. What if he's learned? What if has a cat decided to learn the rules, and that the rules apply to them? Who knows? Very strange. All right, so I'm going to get some more parting lines off of this pillar here. Oh, here you go. Hello. Hello. He says, you were talking about me. I know you were talking about me. I heard cat. Nope, that's not for you. That. Where did you go? Where did you kick it? It fell down, and then you kicked it, cat. Where did you kick it to? That's funny. Well, let's see. That's why I designed these to. That's why I designed these drawers to pull out, or at least to be able to shift around here. They're a little bit tall here. I may have to slice away some of this 2x4 here that I made the desk out of to get, because I'm just about a ½ inch too tall on these sliding drawers in here. These are rolling cabinets. Pumpkin buddy. Oh, I know what I can do. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. There it is. I'm not so dumb after all, am I? Really? There's nothing back there. All right. Swish, swish, swish your tail. Sniff, sniff, sniff. Sniff around. All right. Let's see. Here we go. So here's the one that I dropped. And we're just going to clean it right up. So I would love to have a whole bunch of these to where I could actually use them on a building. But I do like them being able to be standalone pieces as well. So that's kind of neat. I do like them being standalone pieces. The other thing you could do is you could pin them top to top and have something really cool going on there too. So there's other ways you can utilize them. They don't have to be just staying here standard out of the package. You could actually utilize these in a couple of different ways, I think. So one thing that occurs to me is you could drill a hole and put a pin in the top of this one and drill a hole in the top of another one. And I'll show you what I mean here in just a minute once I finish getting some pigment on this dude here. What's up? Okay, you are now evicted. You have done the unallowable, Pumpkin. You are now up. Okay, you are. Okay, my hands are full. Okay, get off of there. You are in terra non-allowableus, wherever that is. All right. All right. Excuse me, folks. I have got to take the cat and evict him from the pocket dimension. All right, that's it, buddy. You were doing so good tonight too. Oh, you were doing so good. All right, let's go. All right, you're gonna get into something that you don't need to be getting into here. So let's just do this. Set a couple of sets of brushes you knocked off. Stickers. Oh, you are just a destructive. You are a force of you are a agent of chaos. Chaos and terror. CAT. Chaos and terror. Where is the other half of that box, though? Oh, there it is. Shattered all to beyond recognition. Okay, come on. Out. Out. Say goodnight. Say goodnight, folks. Say goodnight, Pumpkin. Good night, Pumpkin. All right, say goodnight, Pumpkin. Good night, Pumpkin. Huh? Don't you paw at my face. Don't you try to smack me. You are going out. Out. O-W-T. Out. Out. All right, evicted from the pocket dimension. He had a good run. He was doing really good tonight, folks. I was really proud of him. I still really am. I'm still really proud of him. He was doing good. He was being so good. And then he just had to jump up on the other side of the workstation here, where I've got some things in progress pieces and he's knocked things off before onto the floor and broken figures I can't get another of. I can't get a replacement. Like there's a Guild Ball figure that I can't get a replacement for, that I've got primed up and ready to go. I just want to, but he broke her off at the legs, at the knees, at the ankles, and I had to pin it. And she had a trident, and that's broken, and it doesn't reach the ground anymore. So I've got to do a lot of remediation on that figure to make it look right again. So anyhow, before I was so rudely interrupted by the cat. Cat, chaos and terror. C-A-T. I can't remember who said that, but I'm glad they brought that to my attention. That's a good idea. C-A-T. Chaos and terror. So you could actually take two of these pillars and turn them into a great big pillar like that. So now you've got a big pillar for your building to work with. So that's pretty cool right there. So you could just drill them and pin them and glue them together. Boom. Just like that. So, all right. Well, it is almost 10 o'clock. It's 10 millimeters. 10 millimeters. 10 minutes. 10 minutes till 10. And I'm feeling like I need to go and get some things accomplished, or else I'm not going to have the energy after I finish at 11 to do them. And I've got an early morning tomorrow and a big day. I've got other things to do other than just that one early morning call. So if you'll excuse me, I think I will call it an evening here in the pocket dimension, where we were painting all the things. And as you can see tonight, we were painting all the things. We painted a Cavern troll. We've primed a wizard or a mutant. He could be a mutant. Check out mutants on GiantSlayerGames.com by my friend Patty's Parlor Games. Pick it up. Pay what you want. Help out him and his family right now in a tough time. I know things are tough all over, but The things he's dealing with might, you know, sometimes we have problems, but we see somebody else's problems and they're a little bit bigger than ours. So if you can, pick it up, pay what you want. It's a really fun little game. I've got a copy of it printed out here somewhere. Highly recommend it. It's pretty solid. So check it out. Um, he could use the help. And again, it's not just sending a content creator money because they're having problems. You're getting something out of it as well. Same thing if you're on Twitch and you aren't subscribed yet to my channel. Consider a subscription, which will put you in the running for getting a monthly monster of your very own. There are several who have already availed themselves of that, and they have some wonderful little works of art on their bookshelf or on their shelf if they don't have books. Maybe they don't have books. Do people have books anymore? If you're on YouTube, consider giving it a like. Consider sharing it as well. And subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, please. That'd be really cool. Make sure you ding the dong so that you get your notifications. If you're on YouTube and if you're on Twitch, drop a follow. If you haven't followed already, trying to get to 400 followers. And when we get to 400 followers here on Twitch, I will be giving away a copy of Warcrow. And if you don't believe me, check out my Instagram posts for the last month or so. I've been putting it up there quite a bit. Can't miss it. I think it's going to be a really fun game. And considering this is Orktober, it has orcs in it. So get yourself some orcs from the Warcrow box and celebrate Orktober with the best of them. So, that is going to be it for me for tonight. Because it's almost 10 o'clock. So, we're going to see what's up. For YouTube, we're going to end the stream. For Twitch, we are going to raid out. So, before I end the YouTube stream, I just want to say, as I usually say, and I mean it, even though I always say it. And sometimes when you say the same thing all the time, the same way, it doesn't sound like you mean it, but I definitely mean it. No matter how bad today was, tomorrow, the sun is coming up tomorrow, and the world is a better place with you in it. So, with that, I'm going to end the YouTube stream. Boop. Hit the button. Good night to YouTube, if you're over there. And Twitch, since you're still